Hi everybody, it's Linda here from the Crafting Depot, and I got this idea, and then I saw somebody after I got the idea who did it on social media. So it's not anything that I came up with on my own, but you know how the universe works. You think of something and then it appears. Well, that's what happened with me. So I'm not sure exactly how this is going to go, but we're just going to flow with it. It's my first time doing it, and I thought, this would be a great idea for people that are so scared to draw and make flowers and stuff like that. Here's another way of doing it, and let's have fun. Okay, so I'm using the Mead watercolor paper. It's hot press. It's 100% cotton. I got this a while ago, 10 by 7 sheets. I got 20 sheets in here, and it is a block. And I've explained before, but for anybody that's new here or stopping by, a block is glued on all 4 sides. Now, I got this leaf when I bought the bohong paper. I think it's pronounced bohong. Let me see. When I bought this paper, which was later I found out was recommended, I stumbled across it. It's bohong. It says pure cotton. Does that mean it's 100% cotton? I have no idea. Watercolor paper. And it doesn't tell you whether it's hot press or cold press. But feeling it, it feels very smooth to me. So I think it is hot press. Okay, the reason why I bring this paper up is because this little doodad I got from that company, and I heard another social media influencer say that paper is made by the same company as this paper, and it's both are from China. And you can see on the other paper, if you look, let me show you, it's got lettering written in Chinese. So there's a good possibility that this is made by Mead, and it just goes under a different name. Who knows? Or maybe it's a sister company or something. I'm not 100% sure, so don't, attack me on that. It's just what I'm hearing. And that's how I got this little tool. So back to what I was trying to tell you was that it's glued on all 4 sides. I know I got sidetracked, but I got this little tool, and you don't need this. You can use a letter opener, a knife, but right in here, this section right here is an opening where you stick your tool in there, and then you can go around the whole thing and slice it. But this has really been a great tool because I haven't ripped any paper with it, and I really like it. So if you're using a letter opener or anything like that, just be careful. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is let's water down our papers. So I'm using a water bottle, and I'm just spraying the paper. And the paper is going to wobble because it is cotton and it is paper. So even though it's on a block, there will be some warping. But what I will tell you also, let me see if I can find it. This was the last video that I did online. Now I did this on, I did this on the Mead paper. I sprayed it all down, and it warped while I was painting. But then when I was done, it came out, I just let it dry on the block. So I'm telling you this only for one reason. After you paint, if you get Mead and if you get a block, and if it's warping, just let it rest overnight, and the next day it'll be flat. So there's something that I learned on my own, and I'm sure there's other people that explain all this, but because it's new to me and I haven't heard anybody say it, I'm sharing that with you. So let's not worry about whether we're a beginner or we've been painting for 30 years. Let's just have fun and see where it goes. Okay, so I watered down the paper, and I'm not really sure what color. I wish you were all able to, I'm afraid to do a live. I really am, because you just never know. I don't edit my videos. I just do them and then I pop them up. But I guess I should one day do a live. I don't even have that many people that really watch me, so who knows what would happen. But anyway, it's in the future someday, maybe. It's a possibility. So, I'm looking at the greens. I don't want to go too dark. I want it to be light. But you see, with these paints, you really don't have to mix them. You use them, they call it neat. Neat means that you're just using the paint, the color by itself without mixing. You can, if you're a beginner, you can go get yourself a plate out of the kitchen and just use that. I left this here because the Kuritakis don't come with a palette. Some people don't like that. So you can use a plate. This is a Pyrex plate, or you can go and get yourself, you know, a palette. Or you can get, like with a lot of the palettes, the other palettes, they come with areas on the paint template thing where you can mix. So I just mixed the green. You don't really have to with these paints, but I'm doing it. And I'm going to go in here and I'm going to just, and you can see the bump. I'm going over this bump right here. That's going to flatten out later. So let's not worry about that. And I'm just going straight across like this. And I'm just creating a background. And I'm gonna, probably should go like this, right? And just go down like this. And we're not using tape, we're just going to, you know, just spread it around. Okay, so what we could do, let's try it. Just put a little bit more paint on it, and then I get these, what looked like at first were these circles, but they're dispersing more. Do I have my lights on? I have one more light that should go on. Okay, so when I first splashed that down, I got little circles. What you can do if you're interested in this is you can get salt out of the kitchen. There's different, what's the right word? Not hard, you know, diameters of the salt. Some are more coarse, some are fine. And you can sprinkle that around and then let it dry and then come back, blow, you know, get the salt off and then proceed. I'm not going to do that. You can also get a piece of saran wrap and you can squish it up and you can make different patterns on your paper. You can do that also. I'm not going to do that today either. What I am going to do is get my brush again and let's, you know, I think I did this on my last one. I guess I liked it. What can I say? Just a little bit. And we're just gonna do that. And that probably was too dark because I don't want my background to be like super dark. So let's just water it down. And as you can see, anybody can do this. Okay. What I'm going to do is blow dry this with a blow dryer. I didn't go out and buy any fancy tool, just a blow dryer that I have. And I'm going to dry this and I'll be right back. Okay, so the paper is dried. I used a blow dryer. And while I was drying it, you can probably see some of the drops formed little circles. And I like that. That's really cool. So this is our background. And I went into my very minimal supply of, oh my goodness, of stencils. Okay. And I picked out some of the ones that you may have seen me do quite often on, you know, when I'm crafting and making journals. So here are a few. And what I'm going to do next is lay them down. And this is the fun part. Okay, you can get any pen of your choice. Go into your stash, go into the kitchen drawer, find yourself a pen. Okay, I just happen to have, what is, can you see this? Is it? Wait a minute, sorry. Okay, we're in, here we are. Okay, there we go. Okay, this is a Uniball Signo DX pen, but you do not need this. You can go in the kitchen cabinet and get yourself, or kitchen drawer rather, and get yourself a big pen if that's all you have. Okay, and we're just gonna trace. Now this is for anyone who's so afraid of drawing, just trace. So I'm gonna go around this. And you know, I'm not taping it down, so I'm just holding it very carefully and I'm not going super fast. Okay, we got that one. Now we're gonna move down here and we're going to trace the inside petals. just like that. And now you can do this if you want to embellish, you know, if you get into junk journaling or art journaling, you know, you can do this. This would be lovely on a, you know, embellishment for a page or a card. Now we're doing these little, I think they're called stamens. I forgot. You know, I used to teach this stuff. It's terrible. The mind, the memory is definitely going. I feel it and I'm experiencing it. And it's not fun. Let me tell you. Okay, so let's move along here. And go down. And like I said, anybody can do this. This is not hard. Okay, so we got that one. And I really like that. Now, where do we want to place the other one? We could do one here. We could do this little flower tray, you know, trailing down. Something different. Let's try it. It's a little bit more intricate, a little bit more difficult. So, you know, you might want to pick something else that's easier. I'm not sure. I'm happy I picked this. But it's done. Okay, so now this one looks like it got ripped, so I am going to, you know, pretend I know where the leaves go. And then we're going to go in here. Let's do this top one. And these little pieces over here. And, you know, you could do circles, you can do triangles, rectangles, you know, to build up your confidence and see how that goes. So there's that. And then what we could do down here is just the flower. So we could just do this part. And remember, this, I didn't do this prior to this video. I'm just doing this first time with all of you. And to just show you that, you know, we can all craft, we can all, and you don't have to go out and, but yeah, I mean, this is not mandatory. If you want to draw it out, go right ahead. You know, or if you just want to use your brush and do that too. You know, I'm just saying for anyone that wants an alternative way of doing things. There's also a scope. Forget the name of it. Does anybody remember the name? Where you can, it's a projector and it goes over your you know, what picture that you want, and it displays on your paper, and then you can look through the viewfinder and you can draw out whatever you want, and then you can go and paint on top of that. I might get one of those one of these days because I would really like to, you know, like do portraits. But from what I'm hearing with the portraits, that it's a good idea to use one of those scopes so that you definitely get an accurate lining of the face, you know, until you become better at drawing. And drawing and painting, honest to God, it's not something for me that, you know, happened like instantaneously. You have to practice if it's something that you enjoy. And I find for me in my life, I wasn't able to do that because I had to go to school, finish my education, become a teacher. And, you know, in the summer when I was off, I was painting like constantly. And then when school started and the reports were due and all that, there's just too much stress. So there's probably, I would say when I look at the analytics, most of the people that are on my page are really retired and mostly women from the United States. So I'm sure many of you are in the same situation as me where you worked and there just wasn't any time. So what I'm going to do is draw this here. I really like this one because it's a thicker, what did I say these were? I can't even, can you believe this? It's thicker than this one. This one's very flimsy and it breaks easily. So if you were to go out and get this stencil, I recommend getting these. They're thicker and I just think they last longer. I know you can go on Etsy and now Temu. I'm afraid to use Temu, not because it's a Chinese company, but because I just find it difficult to return things. I find it so much easier to return things on Amazon. But Temu has incredible prices. Moving into my son, for those of you who have been listening and following along, and I was on Temu tonight looking, you know, just scrolling like the rest of us do. We're all addicted to social media, or some of us are. I shouldn't say all of us. I should never put everybody in the same category. Okay, so here we go. We got a pattern. And now what we can do, if we want, we can continue painting around, or we can start doodling. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start doodling. And of course, I'm going to be using some gold paint. I'll be using gold paint. And I think I might even use, what color should I put in here? Maybe we'll get some, let's wet these down again. Let's go in for this blue. I really like these colors. And maybe just go around this, you know, just give it a little emphasis, just very carefully. And you don't have to do all of it. I'm just, you know, experimenting. And we'll go around here. And then we'll just blend it out. And that looks really nice because it gives it that darker hue. You know, it pops it out a little bit more. And so let's turn it around. And let's paint very carefully around it, like this. And I'm not going to go all the way in there, because yes, it's a little tight. But I wanted to give you an idea of some things that you can do, and I know you can do this. Okay, so we got that. And you know what, let me go back here. That's just if you want your background to be contrasting to this. So, you know, you can see what you can do over here. You can paint around your stencil. And let me go in here and we'll get some blues. Oh, I think I got the same color. No, I didn't. So remember, this is an experiment here. We are experimenting. And I don't want to put water over this and spread it, because I don't know, although maybe that would be a good idea too, because then it would go into the leaves and might give it a different. So let's do it. Remember again, everything we're doing in art is experimenting. So that's what we're doing. We're experimenting. And we're going to move things around. Yep, we're going to do more of that. I like it. So let's get some pink. That looks really, really good. You see that? I was afraid to do it. Now I'm not. Make that heavy. Put a little bit in here. A little bit down here, in here, and there. Okay, let's spray it again. Well, actually, there's still a lot of water here. Whoops, sorry about that. Things are falling over and moving around. Don't worry if it gets on the edges, it's fine. So we're pretending that we're little kids and we're not worried, and we're just going to experiment and see what happens. I'm liking it. The pink, when it goes into the green, is kind of getting muddy, which is not a bad color if you like, you know what I mean, if you like that color, which is fine. Okay, so we got that. And then I think what I want to do is, I love that green in there. Sorry about that. Okay, where did I put my brush? Okay, you have a stand right here, Linda, for your brush. Don't be throwing your brush around. It's not good to throw your brushes around, and when you're drying, you know, after you wash your brush, don't leave it up like this. That's what I used to do years ago. 20 years ago, I used to do that. It's not good because what happens is the water goes through the barrel and there's glue in there that's keeping everything together. So you want it to dry flat, and that's what that is for. I got this on Amazon. It's just a soap dish, and I got 2 of them. And I like the way that it just holds the brush. Excuse me, it holds the brushes fine. So let's go back into that dark blue. And we're going to add a little bit here and there. And let's see if the water, let's see how it goes. Let's move it. And you know what, mate? There we go. Need a little bit more water. And move it. So I'm just basically tilting it, and I'm letting the water do its thing. Trying to get all the droplets out. And move it. And now we're getting something totally different. Okay. So I think, which way did I have it? I had it this way. Okay, let's dry this off. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to dry this. Okay, so now the paper is dried, and I think it looks really cool. And so the next thing I'm going to do is start doodling. So I will periodically put the camera on pause and just continue working, because this can take a long time. But as you can see, all I'm doing right now with you is I'm trying to make the leaves look a little bit more dimensional. So I'm just putting a line to represent the vein down the middle. And I can see there's a piece of this particular one that I missed. So you have a choice. You can either grab your stencil and place it over where, okay, so that's not it. Let's see if this is it. You can just place it right back over where you were drawing and put in the stem that's missing. And that's what I'm going to do, just to keep it in line with the rest of it. So as you can see, this is what I'm doing. I'm going to continue doing this, and I'll be right back. So after I did all the leaves, oh well, I missed one here. Well, I missed another one here. So we're going to bring this down like this, and we're going to go up like that. There we go. Down like that. So the next thing I'm going to do is make 3 lines in each petal. Okay, so I made the lines in the petals. It's starting to take some form. And now what I'm going to do is just draw, I love to draw these little straight lines. I'm into lines and circles and spirals. I just love the way that they look. And I'm going to put stripes down each one of these stems in between the leaves. So now I noticed I started doing something different. Now here I did, straight lines, and here on this one, I'm curving the lines. So I just want to show you. I mean, you can take different approaches to making a line, how it's going to look. And if, I don't hope I'm not insulting anybody, but I'm sure many of you do this. I'm just, I don't know, I'm just blabbing. Okay, so I curved the line, if you can see it, right there. Okay, so I gave it more of a curve, so it's kind of going with this little stem. So I'm doing this over here, I'm doing curved lines and just giving each one its own uniqueness. You can make them the same, you can make them different. Okay, so here's an idea. You can, after you split your leaf in half, you can do circles. You can have the circles touch each other. You can have the circles separate from each other. And then when you make a mistake like I did, you just make a smaller circle in the middle. So you can vary the size of the circles, and it gives it, more dimension, makes it look more real, because that's how, it is out in life. Everything is got its own thing. Actually, that's not true. If you ever followed Fibonacci, he's found mathematical shapes in nature. Look it up. He's really, really interesting. He found it in the Mona Lisa. A lot of Greek guys that build the buildings. Oh my God, it's terrible. They used his mathematical influence when they were building architectures. I apologize. I am tired. So I have been trying to clean my place up and organize it, because I am definitely going to live over at my son's house. Okay, so here we go. We're just going to do some squigglies. We're going to follow the shape of the stencil. Yeah, so my car is packed to the hilt, and I needed to draw because it helps me, when I'm anxious or anything like that. Look at how that's developing. All from a stencil. Who says we can't use stencils? I mean, really. Gorgeous. I love it. So you can take a plain stencil and turn it into something else. So what I did here, I'm going to do over there. Be right back. Okay, so what I did was I went ahead. You saw me do the circles on this one. So I went ahead on this one and these two, and I did the same thing. I did the circles. So now on over here, I'm going to do some arched lines. So they're just going to be very close to each other, and they're not going in the same direction as the other side. And I'm just going to do this. I think it looks really cool. And I don't know if you can see that, but that's how it looks close up. So I'm going to continue doing that, and I'll bring the camera closer. And the lines are very close to each other, and I think it really gives it more interest. And we'll do the same thing over here. Gives it a lot more dimension. Now this was just a plain old stencil on top of watercolor, and now we're making it come alive. So we're going to continue doing that. And I am so excited to go see my grandchildren tomorrow. It's going to be a glorious day. And this is extremely relaxing and very tedious. Okay, so I went around, and if you look, you can see that my lines kind of changed. They're like a little more curved over here, and over here they're more straight. So there's different ways that you can do this. And let's see what else we can do. So if you, let's say you make a mistake and you go outside the lines like I did right on this one, you can take your pen, or you can get a thicker pen. And well, that's too thick. Let me see, what do I have? An 8 might be thick too. So these are the Stetlers, and I think they call this neuro something drawing, where you can make like one side darker or corners. You can do that here. You can go over it, make it a little thicker, and let's just do all of them. You could do something like that. I really like these Stettler pens. I got a bunch of them. I think 5 of them together. The Stettler pigment liners. So this is a 0.8. And I like a thicker nib sometimes. A lot of artists prefer a finer thin nib. I like a thicker one. Okay, so that's an idea. You could do that. Let's see, this line went over a little bit, so let's just make this one side of the leaf a little bit thicker. You could do that. You could do the entire leaf. I just want to do one side of it. Let's go down here and make our line a little thicker. Okay, so that's just an idea of something that you can do. And then you can also take, this is a Signo Uniball white, and I'm having a lot of problems with them. I bought 3, came in a package, and they don't always work, but I've heard that when you work on hot press paper, they are better. So let's see if we can get this to come out. Here it goes, it's coming out. And it's recommended to keep your nib perpendicular to the paper, and it is coming out, and not to press too hard. So I'm not going to do every single circle. I'm just going to do like almost like every other one, but not really every other one. Come on, come out. There you go. Okay, I'm going to continue on. Okay, so the leaves are filled in over here. I did white, and then I came over to this side and I filled in some gold. So what I want to do, now you can use gold paint, but I'm just going to use these pens, and what I'm going to do in here is I'm going to outline around where the water formed. I don't know how well you can see this on camera, but it looks really cool. There. Okay. So what I want to do is, well, like I just said before, you can fix things. Let me see, get the 8. Where's the 8? The 8. Like, I'm looking at this line. I didn't do a good job here. I think I need to go get my eyes checked. It's been a very long time. And sometimes I gotta go forward, squint, blink, because the lines are just so tiny. So I'm gonna go around the whole thing here. And you know what? I'm gonna do that around the rest of them. You can see where my lines are not perfect. So I outlined all the stems, and look at how cool that is. Love it. All right, so what we're going to do in here is we're going to go like this. We're going to do these little U's on this. And you know, I don't know what I'm doing like from minute to minute. I just look at it and say, okay, let's try this. There we go. And in the end, I'm usually happy. When I filled my girlfriend's, she asked me to make her book. it came out. Some of the things I painted, I wasn't like crazy about, but when I cut them up and put them in her book as embellishments, I absolutely loved them. So it's interesting how, you know, something can look good. It's like hanging a picture. You hang it in one room, maybe it doesn't look good, which is what I'm doing right now. I'm moving things around and finding that some things look better in other rooms than where I originally had them. So, a painting that I did that I wasn't super crazy about, cut it up and turned into something for an art journal, and I absolutely love it. Now look at how nice that looks. So all this is done with watercolor paints. Just take out whatever you have. You don't have to spend a lot to get started. And some pens, markers, pencils, and just start doodling over your paintings. And you're going to be pleasantly surprised. Oh, shit. What the fuck happened? Okay, I thought I was filming and I wasn't. What I said, and I'll bet you didn't see what I did. I took, Kuretake comes out with this, not comes out with, has this tray of 5 different shades of different gold paints. So what I did was I took the rose gold, I wasn't recording, and I put it over these leaves. Then I went into the Kuretake paints and I took out indigo. And what I'm doing right now, I thought I was on pause. I thought I was recording rather. I was on pause. Was, I don't even know. Now I have to go back and look at this video to see what did I do. Okay, so we're recording now, and what I'm doing is I'm putting in indigo dots with the tip of my brush, getting a little bit more water, and nice. Comes out better when the paintbrush is a little bit wetter than what I had. So I'm going to go around and I'm going to do this. So what I did over inside this flower was I just used the indigo, and I'm going to go into this one and do the stamens with the indigo. Just the tip of the brush. And I went all around and did these dots. Now what I want to do is give that a minute to dry. I think I'm going to go in with the gold over here. And I'm just going to fill in these little drops with the pen, because they're odd little shapes. Fill those in with the pen. Super easy. I mean, it is endless what we can do. So I'm going to let that dry. So I see a lot of things that I probably have to go over. So I'm going to take the number 8 again. And I'm just going to go over the outline of some of these leaves like this, where the gold went over. And then just go over the outside. And you know, after you finish a painting, sometimes you may walk away, come back and see something else that you wanted to add to it. Okay, those look a lot better. Now, what I don't like here is that the flowers, so I'm not going to do this all with online, but I'm just going to show you. I'm going to do outline one petal and just show you the difference, you know, between the 2 different nibs. So I'm going to pause and do all the rest. Okay, so this is where we are now. I think it's coming out pretty good, and I'm going to put some white dots around areas. You know, I might even put some inside here, like that. Let's put some white dots in here. Whoops. That looks really cool. And we'll go around here. Add some dots. Sometimes I get a little carried away. To watch myself. But what's wrong with having a little fun? Right? Okay. I could continue on for a very long time, but I want to show you what you can do with a stencil, some watercolor paints splashed on. This was like super easy, and look at how gorgeous it is. I love it, absolutely love it. And I want to thank you for stopping by my channel, and hopefully I didn't bore you to death. I tried to make it shorter, but you know, it takes a long time. Anyway, with that, thank you for stopping by. I wish you an amazing day, and please, if you wouldn't mind giving it a like if you do like it, and subscribe if you'd like to follow along and see what we do over here at the Crafting Depot. With that, much hugs. Thank you. Bye-bye.